I would like to welcome you to It's Time's Resource Hub. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on My Progressive Web App. It's our goal to see you stay connected and top of mind with your clients, and having your very own progressive web app is one way of doing that. So this is just a little peek in the back end so you can see what the process is and take it from there. So the first thing that we've done is I've chosen the template for charity. Just doesn't matter really which template you choose because you can always add and or delete pages. But sometimes when you choose a template like for maybe a hair salon or for real estate, they're going to have pages already back there that really would be relevant to you. So we do want to be thoughtful about templates, even though we can change them out as needed. So here we are in the build section, and now we're looking at pages. So this is the home page. So I'm going to be building an app simply called Sample Progressive Web App Community. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the pages that I have. I have home, what we do, get involved, donate, social, news, contact us, volunteers. I may or may not need all of those, but if I do, then I can keep them or switch them out as needed. All right. The first thing I'm going to look at is my design feature, because everybody has their brand colors and things of that nature. So my colors are purple, orange, and blue. So I'm going to go ahead and change out these colors. I do recommend you finding your hex code just by going to a color picker so that you can have the same colors throughout your app. So I'm just going to have white in the background there. And just kind of follow along with me. My secondary color is going to be my choice of blue, which is 00 ADF. My accent color, I'm going to choose my orange. Text color, I'm going to leave as black. Alternate text color, I'm going to also leave as black. And if I decide that I don't like this anywhere during the process, then I can always go back and change. But this just allows me to have overall design colors. Okay. So next I want to go to my app icon. So this app that I'm creating is called Progressive Web App Community. So I've already actually created these apps in Canvas. So if you can go over with me here, just so you can see what it looks like. It's 500 by 500. So I've already downloaded this. So I'm going to go ahead and take the time to upload it now. So in my app, I'm going to upload my app logo just from my computer. And so I have the logo here. Submit, and there you see at the top of the app here. Now for my app icon, that's going to be what's on the splash page. So I'm going to have a bigger version of that. So let's change image, and I'm going to choose a bigger version of that. Okay, so it's going to render a little bit bigger. All right, so we've done our app icon. Next, I'm going to go down to the app splash screen. I'm going to change my background color to simply white, just so there's no competing background things going on with the app. So when someone downloads your app, this is what's going to populate. So you just want to make sure your colors are matching. And the last thing we're going to do within this kind of the color of your app and what people get when they download it is your navigation menu. So as you can see, I have this dark blue here. That's not a part of my my color scheme. So I want my background color to actually be my orange, which is F16521. And you see how that changed at the top. Title color is still fine. Background color, I am going to choose white. And my link color is going to be black. So you'll see how this changes in just a second. All right, actually I'm going to change my background color because I should be able to see my navigation bar there. So let's see what's going on with that. Let's try black. All right, so you notice that I had a little bit of trial and error there. So I do want this to be black. I'm going to go ahead and change my background color again to white, and we'll take from there. The key is you want to make sure that they can see the navigation bar. If I click on here, we see the home, what we do, get involved. That's going to be all the pieces of your app. So thank you for your patience with me. I'm clicking and learning along with you guys. All right, so now that we have our color scheme there, I want to now go ahead and go to, actually, if you move over, it'll ask you if you want your navigation bar at the top where it is or if you want it at the bottom. So you can click on that for layout. Just a little side note. All right, now we're going to go back to our pages because that home screen doesn't fit what it is I'm trying to do. So I'm going to go to home. And this is what's called a slider. So I'm going to click on that so I can start making changes. Your content is what shows up on the slide. Your design is if you have to adapt any buttons or change any colors because that page needs to look a little bit different. And then your layout is once you want to take up the whole screen, 3/4 of the screen, half the screen, or a third of the screen. So that's where that layout comes from. And you have that option on every single page. But let's go back to content. So right now it says your charity. I want to change this image, okay? And so my app is called Progressive Web App Community. So I'm going to change the image to reflect that. All right, and so I already created something called my header template, and I'll show you guys where I actually did that in Canva. So I didn't necessarily want to use their font, so I created this in Canva with the font that I wanted to use. So once I submit, it's going to conflict a little bit, but I'll show you how to get that deleted. While that's generating, I'll show you what I did in Canva. So in Canva, I've already created the images that I want. So here you have just some folks that are happy looking at the app that they just built, just like you're going to feel when your app is done. So that is what I've already downloaded and am now populating in my app. All right. So the desktop image. So what happens is you can see, even though this is meant for mobile, when someone types in your link, they can also see on desktop, even though that's not what it's ideal for. All right. So if you don't want to create your words in Canva, you can type them here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that because I already have my words, and I'm going to move that there. All right. And so I am going to actually get rid of this particular button right here because of how the button is in the way. So I'm just going to go ahead and take away. So there's something else that's happening here. Because I've added my own image, they already have their own overlay or gradient color. We need to get rid of that. Okay, so let's go back to slider and let's go to design. And you see they have this in the design portion, this gradient that we don't need. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that. And now you see the brightness of my picture. Also, we see that it's not as centered as it should be. So this is where you can navigate the image position. So I'm just going to move this until I get centered right where I like it. Okay. So that is all that we have for there. So I'm going to show you how to add a component. And here we are on our home page. So once again, they always start you off with an image and what's called a slider. Sometimes you just want to just get rid of that and start from scratch, which is what I wanted to do. So here we are on the home page. They gave us a slider. I am going to go ahead and delete that because instead of a slider, I want something called a header. And this will start making more sense the more you tinker around and start building your app. So anytime you want to add a component, you're going to click on the plus sign, and this is going to take you to all of the components that we offer. So I'm going to add what's called a header component. Okay. Now, on your homepage, you want that to be an image. So they have all these words here. So we want to go ahead and first delete those items. So just scroll down, highlight those, delete, make sure you save. So we can get rid of all of that so we can make room for our image. Okay, so that button is going to be critical. So let's go ahead and leave that alone. Now we're going to go ahead and upload our file. Once again, I've already created mine in Canva. And that was one of the reasons that I wanted to get rid of their slider image. So I wouldn't have to work around their word placement. So I'm going to go ahead and submit that and wait for that to populate. So we see that it's only covering half the page. So this is where I want to go to my layout feature because I want this to take the whole screen. So instead of this one, I'm going to choose all the way. So now you see we have just a nice streamlined home page. So that's our content. Now design, I want my button to look a little bit different than that. So let's go ahead and go to the design feature. I'm going to override their design. And I'm now going to address my button situation. I probably am going to leave the background white, but I'm probably going to change my border color. I'll probably try my purple. So let's see how that looks. And once again, there's a lot of trial and error. So you can see there's a very thin line. I want mine to be thick, so I'm going to change my border width all the way to 3. And there we have my button. Now I don't need to say button, so I'm going to go back to content. And let's see if that gives me the option to change it. So instead of saying button, I'm going to say about. Now you can't really do too much about the font for the button, so that's kind of going to be what it is. It's going to be capitalized, and that's how that's going to look. So now I want my about button, but I want my about button to take me somewhere. So my navigation link, instead of taking me home, I want it to go to the what we do section. And I'll probably change the name to that as well. But for now, let's go ahead and leave that as is. So now if I click on the button, it'll take us to the what we do section. Okay. So I'm going to change that to, let's change that to about, just so all of our language is the same. So instead of what we do, I'm going to change that to about the Progressive Web App community. And then I'll make sure that I save changes. So what you're going to find is on each page, there's going to be kind of the header, which is what we do, and we will definitely want to change that picture out. The text, and that's where you're going to get more specific about what is, about your community or whatever it is you want to say about. And then we want to also address the button. If you guys notice, I'm not using the square button. So I want to make sure that all of my buttons are consistent. And if they don't allow me to change in here, then I will delete. And so let's see. So if I don't see where it allows me to change the design of the button in here, then I will just go ahead and delete altogether. Okay, so it should be here. Okay, did I override design? So let me just see something here. Like I said, we're doing this in real time, you guys. So, yep. So once again, I'm not sure what's going on with that button there. So I am going to simply delete it. And then because I still need a button, I'm going to go ahead and press on the plus. Once again, that's how we add our components. And I'm going to choose button. And that way I know I have control over it. So there you see the button there. So let's go back to the header and what we do. I'm simply going to change this image. And just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to just use the same image that I used before without the words. So there we have it. Once again, I am going to change this because we said about. So we have about Progressive Web App Community. Make sure that's big. Let's try a different font. Let's try Roboto, bold, and save. Let's make sure the font is the right color. So let's go with white and make sure we have it the highest font. Okay, so now we have the language matching, and let's see. So there's nothing else that I want to do with the button right now. I just really want to kind of show us how to get these pages set up. So I don't necessarily want, let's see. So they gave us a gradient, probably gonna need some gradient just so that the about will stay put. I'm okay with where the image is situated, and background color is fine. So what I probably will do now is just go to layout. Instead of having it take up half the screen, I'm gonna go ahead and just have it take up less space because I want more room for my text. Okay, so now we have our header situated. Let's go back now and let's deal with our text. I've already created some text, so I'll go to my Word document. So let's go back in and I will paste. And now it's just a matter of getting everything lined up to look like we want it to look. That to be bullets. Get rid of the extra spaces. So let's save and see what that looks like. So now we have what the Progressive Web App community looks like. So I can determine where I want this button to go. Like maybe I want to go to a booking page. So let's see the button. So we already got the design together, border color. Now I need to rename the button. So let's have this go to the contact us page. It doesn't matter how you type, it's going to always show up as capitalized there. So if I say contact us, then we're going to have it go to the contact us page. So if I click on that, now it's at the contact us page. So you kind of see how you go through and you change all of The header, for me, I like consistency throughout. So for the header, I'll leave that just as is for now. But for the layout, I'm going to go ahead and change it to this form, and I will do that on all of the pages. Something else that's pretty neat is if you're building an actual community, we can add a page, and we'll just call it the standard page. And I'm going to call this PWA forum. I want us to be able to have, conversations as people are discovering things. I want us to be able to share that. So now we have the title there. So now let's go ahead and add a forum. So go to your component section, and I'm looking through, I'm trying to find the forum, and is where? There it is. So now we have the forum, and now we just have add forum. Okay, and so now we're going to override design, background color. Let's try purple. I don't know. That may be doing a little bit too much, but we just have to put something in here for the sake of our example. So let's see. Secondary text color. Let's try black. Post button. We'll try orange. So now your app has a forum. So that is one thing. And also, the cool thing about this is you can still attach your socials, your social media platforms, and people don't have to leave your app to do that. Okay. So I have my socials connected. You got your Twitter, have your Instagram. So I think that's a pretty neat feature. I'm trying to think of some other things that might be relevant. So we have the forum. So we may also talk about engagement, where you can have your push notifications. So you would just give that a title. Let's start building, and the message is join the. So I don't necessarily need an image, but basically I can just send those push notifications out so that we can get them into the app, get them dialoguing, let them know what offers you have, just different things of that nature. So for the most part, I can definitely continue going. Let me just do this one other thing. So say you want someone to be able to book you. So you say, book me. And so now you have the ability to add something that's called an iframe widget. This allows you to add external web links. And so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And I'm going to find my booking link. And it's right here already. Go ahead and place that in there. And there you have it. My booking link is right there. So basically everything that you need is going to be right here. So if you don't need volunteers, then you can go ahead and just hit the trash can and delete that from your app. Okay. Also, if you want to rearrange things, you want to get involved after donate, you can move things around so that your navigation bar appears however you need it to look. So that is the gist of kind of the building the app. And next we're going to talk about there's a loyalty aspect. You can connect your Zoom. Once again, you can have a forum, push notifications, analytics. You can see who's downloading your app, who's using it. Member login. This is pretty neat because it allows you to have different groups or subscriptions. So you may have people who can only see 4 pages out of the 9 that you have on your app. You may have paid subscribers. So once again, that's a little bit beyond the scope of this tutorial because I would need a whole list of, emails and volunteers and things of that nature. But I think as the community grows, we can absolutely put those case studies in here. So settings, custom emails, just things of that nature. So, and distributing, this is pretty cool. You can hit QR code and give your tribe, your potential clientele, your QR code so they can download the app to their phone. And the cool thing is it takes up 90% less space than a native app, so all they have to do is once they scan the code or put the link in their phone, it's going to ask them if they want to install to phone, and then they will have the app there. So there's just a general overview of how to start the process of creating your own progressive web app. And for those who actually have purchased or will purchase, you will have access to the progressive web app community where we will share best practices and what we're learning, because I am still part of the learning curve myself as a distributor. So I'm learning things every day, from the integrations to what this thing can do. And I want us to grow together. I really do want us to stay top of mind and stay connected to our people, because I really do believe that our tribes are waiting for us. And this is just one other way for us to be able to reach them. Well, I thank you for your time, and I look forward to you potentially joining the community. And for those who already are in the community and just needed this tutorial, let's continue to build. Until next time. To learn more about creating your own progressive web app, please visit myprogressivewebapp.com. Or to discover more about It's Time's The Clear Schools mission to help you clarify who you are and why you are so you can do your real work, please visit discover.theclearschool.com. It's time.